Hey, what's up, Cafe? Kevin back with another 5 minute review. Today, we're going to talk about DC's Kingdom Come. I've been reading comics for 30 years or so, and I have never read Kingdom Come. Kind of embarrassing. Let me know what kind of idiot I am in the comments. Um, but basically, I had a work trip, and family and I were at Barnes and Noble, and I decided I'm going to pick up a trade paperback that I've never read before. I like traveling with trade paperbacks. If you've ever traveled with a hardcover or an omnibus, you know it's dang near impossible. So I picked up DC's Kingdom Come. It came out in 1996, and it's written by Mark Waid and painted beautifully by Alex Ross. This is an Elseworld story, or if you're a Marvel guy, kind of like a what if future storyline, similar to Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, where you're exploring an aged Batman in a supposed future, and kind of what does he look like down the road. This book was so popular that Marvel, a couple years later, did their own, also with Alex Ross, and that was called Earth X, which is an awesome storyline. They followed that up with Paradise X and something else X. I think there's an omnibus for it. But yeah, in this story, we're looking at 10 years into the future after something occurred to the DC world, specifically to Superman. 10 years into what future, it doesn't really say, right? But in this future, Bruce Wayne is about 60 years old. Superman ages, but not like a human, right? Bruce Wayne's 60 years old, so you think, around his 50s, something happens in the DC world, um, where there's just a lot of superheroes and superpowered people, and things are getting a little bit out of control. Something happens to Superman. He ends up retiring. Because Superman retires, a lot of other heroes end up retiring too. And we're left in this new world with these heroes that we don't know and who do not fight for truth and justice like Superman does. So here's the book again in trade paperback form. I'll let you know at the end if I liked it and if I'm going to keep that book or if I'm going to upgrade to an OHC or maybe to the Absolute. So, yeah, why don't you grab a cup of coffee and let's get into this book. All right, here it is in all its glory. Trade paperback. You've got all the DC heroes on there. Again, they're a lot more aged than they are in the regular continuity. There's the back of the book. But let's get into it. So this book has, written by Mark Waid, a lot of religious themes, and I think these covers are fantastic. But our narrators of this story are a pastor who had just lost a dear friend of his who turned out to be the Sandman, and he's followed around by, or led around by, the ghost of Spectre, to bear witness to this massive battle that's going to occur. I'll try not to give away too many spoilers, but again, guys, this is 30 years old. Where the hell have you been? We'll just kind of flip through the book. But it starts off kind of describing this world with all these heroes or superpowered people that we don't really know. They don't have the same values as Superman and Wonder Woman. They're a little crazy. They don't care about human life or destruction of property. And it talks a lot about, what does the United States government do when the superpowered community is so large that they can no longer control it. So something happens in the middle of Kansas that is really devastating to the United States, really devastating to our crops and our farmers, and it's instigated by some of these new heroes versus these new villains. And who else but Wonder Woman comes to try to change the mind of Superman. Come out of retirement, come help us save the day. We've got to fix things. Here's your 60-year-old Bruce Wayne down in his cave, being held together by robotics, of course, because he's done some gnarly things to his bodies over the year. Here's another cover that's just absolutely awesome. But yeah, you can see that. I mean, again, you know Alex Ross's work. The painted artwork is just fantastic. Um, so again, kind of a spoiler. Superman does eventually come back and help. You know, I don't know if I'd call it save the day. Right? Something happens. It's a unique circumstance. It's not the ending you'd think where the heroes necessarily win. Um, there's just a description of all the new heroes. And then again, in this book, just a crap load of extras talking about Superman, his new design, what he's been doing. Green Lantern, right? You got to consider, where's Green Lantern? Where's Hawkman been this entire time? So the heroes don't all come together initially when Superman comes out of retirement. Um, there's different factions, right? Some people are working for Lex Luthor, unfortunately. There's the Superman's team and there's Batman's team, and they've all got different thoughts on what's happening in this world. Um, and I'll leave it up to you to check it out and see what you think. So overall, I just want to let you know I really enjoyed this book. Again, I'm embarrassed to say that I have not read this for the 30 years or so that it's been out. Let me know in the comments if you're like me and you have not read an absolute classic, right? Um, the book was fantastic. It's only 4 issues long, but each issue is longer than a traditional comic book issue. So, I'd say it's roughly 8 issues long in length. I'm still going over the extras. There's a lot of extra artwork by Alex Ross and a lot of character descriptions by Mark Waid, which are really cool. Um, the story was fantastic. I almost read it in one night. I'm in a hotel by myself in downtown KC, and I'm reading, and I get to the last, and I'm just dog tired. So I decided I'm going to finish this tomorrow. So it was a 1.5 session read, really engaging. Again, the artwork by Alex, and I don't even have to say this. You guys know this. Alex Ross's painted artwork is phenomenal. The story was really cool. I tend to sometimes not like futuristic what if type stories, but this one was fantastic. I highly recommend it. I'm going to keep this book. I will probably upgrade it to an OHC or a Absolute edition, and definitely check out some other ones. And I've got to go reread Earth X now and Dark Knight Returns because I haven't read that in years. Um, do me a favor, like and subscribe, or just subscribe. Don't like the video, or just like it and don't subscribe. Or you know what? Do whatever the hell you're going to do, anyways. We'd really appreciate the subscription so we know how we're doing with this new YouTube thing. Yeah, like and subscribe. Follow us on the cafe, and we'll see you on the next 5-minute review. So, yeah, don't forget to check out the cafe's favorite place to buy books in the United States, Organic Price Books. And when you do, use the cafe's codes so that we earn a little bit of money that we can give back to the cafe. If you use Omnibuds, the number 4 Life, you'll save $2 at checkout. And if you use Omnibuds 4 Life, ship it together, you'll save 5% on books of 4 or more if you choose to ship them all at once. If you're in Europe, free shipping to all of Europe with our friends, the Comic Bugle. Um, they also have a Omnibuds, the number 4 Life code, one-time use. Check them out.